All right, so we are live. We're gonna go fully live. Just a few seconds. Gonna give a chance for the stream to populate. Oh, we got 2 people already. All right, we are live. Welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, and welcome to episode 117 of the WMMA Report. I haven't done one of these since late November, early December. Things just got away from me, but we are back. New year, and the MMA for the year is just finally getting started. This week we had Invicta yesterday, and we've got several events coming up this week. But welcome to the WMA Report regular show. We're going to go over everything going on in the world of women's mixed martial arts, reviews, previews, ranking updates, discussion topics, a little bit of everything going on we're going to talk about in this show. Let's get started where we always do, though. Open up my iPad here real quick with the weekend review. So first up, we are going to Invicta FC number 45. That was live on YouTube. The first bout was a bantamweight bout where Sarah Kletzka on the right-hand side there defeated Maria Jose Favela via split decision. Kletzka climbed to 3-3. Favela fell to 2-2. Not a bad fight. The first round was definitely like a light sparring match. Favela had the better momentum, but then Kletzka came out in the second and third rounds and just took over from there. Had the better moments and everything. So I can definitely see them giving the fight to her. Then in the second bout at Atomweight, Katie Saul on the left-hand side defeated Tamika Jones via submission due to armbar. 4 minutes, 30 seconds of the first round. Saul climbed to 4-5. Jones fell to 1-1. I got to give Tamika Jones credit. She stepped up on less than a week's notice to fill in for, I believe it was Tabitha Watkins, to face Katie Saul, much more experienced MMA fighter, and she gave a decent effort there. I mean, Saul just got her down and, went to work on her, had her back, and then Jones was able to escape, from back control and got to guard but Saul just from there latched onto that armbar and made those small adjustments until it was on tight. So good job there for Katie Saul, and Tamika Jones will be back. Then we moved up to Flyweight, where Helen Peralta on the left there defeated Elise Pone via unanimous decision. Peralta climbed to 5-2. Pone fell to 1-1. So I was harsh on this bout in my post-fight stream last night, and I'm not going to be as harsh tonight. I'm still going to be a little harsh. Peralta had the ability, the capability, and plenty of opportunities to go for the finish here, and she just stopped and backed off every time, and then said, well, I wanted to get some rounds, and that does not sit well with me. It just does not. If you can finish, go for the finish. I'm not here to watch you get in rounds. That's what you do in the gym. Just really let down there by Peralta. I thought she had a great performance other than that, but just the constant clinching and slowing down of the fight just really, killed the energy in the bout. Then up at bantamweight, Haley Cowan on the right-hand side there defeated Monica Franco via submission due to rear naked choke. 3 minutes, 17 seconds of the second round. Cowan climbed to 2-2. Franco fell to 2-1. Nice Invicta debut there for Haley Cowan. This bout, the first round was a lot of clinching and wall install from Cowan in the first round. Really bored me out of my mind. And then the second round, she came out and really put the work on Franco. Got her down, got the rear naked choke. Nice performance. Nice way to step it up from the first round to the second round. So that was a nice performance there from all hail Haley Cowan. Then in the co-main event at really lightweight, Ramona Pasquale on the left-hand side there defeated Shamir Peshua via TKO. Started with the knee to the body, hit her in the liver, and then followed it up with punches. 1 minute of the first round. Pasquale climbed to 6-2. Peshua fell to 2-1. Again, I got to give it to Shamir Peshua. Stepped up on less than a week to fill in for Courtney King against Ramona Pasquale. Pasquale did not take it easy on her late notice opponent at all. She went out there. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. She wanted to finish. She executed it. She got it in only a minute. Late notice opponent or not, a finish in a minute or less is impressive. And I believe Pasquale plans to go back down to bantamweight. Really excited to see what she does down there. You know, I've been watching her for 3 or 4 years now. She's finally able to get active. She was living over there in Hong Kong and China, just couldn't get fights. Now she's in stateside and got 2 fights in less than a year. Hopefully she gets a quick turnaround. Then in the main event, Atomweight Championship, the rematch between Jessica Delboni and Alicia Zappitella, and Delboni there on the right-hand side came out the winner this time, taking home the Invicta Atomweight Championship via unanimous decision. Delboni climbed 12-3. Zappitella fell to 9-3. You know, Delboni just was able to successfully shut down everything that Zappitella wanted to do. She shut down her striking. She shut down her takedowns. Even when it went to the ground, Delboni was able to largely stay in control. I gave Zappitella the first round, and so did one of the judges. And then I gave Delboni each round after that, and so did most of the judges as well. Actually, 2 of the judges declared it, I believe, 50-45. So they didn't even give Zappitella the first round. Just really nice performance there by Delboni, who, you know, she thought she got robbed in the first fight. I certainly disagreed with the decision. She left no doubt this time. She just showed that she's a bigger fighter than Zappitella, who's small even for atomweight, and then she showed that she is the absolute better fighter. So nice job there for Jessica Delboni, your new Invicta FC Atomweight champion. All right, so that is it for the weekend results. So let's get into the news. Let me click this on here real quick. All right, so first up, actually, let me center this real quick here. A lot of news items, most of them, I would say the fair majority of them pertaining to the UFC. By the way, we got some live viewers. The chat is open. Anytime you want to say something, go ahead right there in the chat, and I will get to it at some point. First up, UFC veteran Justine Kish has signed a multi-fight deal with Bellator to compete in their flyweight division. So Kish was a contestant on the Ultimate Fighter Season 20, the strawweight season. Wasn't able to actually stay on the show because of an injury, and then had some fights at strawweight, then moved up to flyweight. Wasn't very successful there, but now she has been picked up by Bellator. I think Bellator will be a good fit for her at this point in her career. So looking forward to seeing what she does there. Then UFC has a fight night scheduled for March 12th. They have booked a flyweight bout, Ariana Lipski versus JJ Aldrich. That should be a good one. Should be a nice little banger there. And then they also have a fight night scheduled for March 26th. And they have announced a flyweight bout between Joanne Wood and Alexa Grasso. So Grasso was supposed to be fighting next weekend at UFC 270. Unfortunately, Viviane Araújo was injured, had to bow out. And they rebooked Grasso to fight on March 26th instead against Joanne Wood. And that fight was supposed to happen back in November. You might remember it was supposed to be Joanne versus Alexa. Unfortunately, Alexa had to bow out at the time for either injury or COVID-related issues. And then Joanne fought Tyler Santos, losing to her. So now this fight is on again for March 26th. That should be a good one. Dropped a video on this one earlier. If you haven't yet, go check it out later on. Excuse me. And then LFA 122 goes down next weekend on Friday the 21st in St. Louis, and they have announced 2 bouts. First up, a strawweight bout between Tiani Valley and Invicta veteran Kelly D'Angelo, and then a flyweight bout between Invicta veteran Brittany Cloudy and Annette Nichols. Tiani Valley is a Bellator veteran too. So a couple of 3 notable names there out of the 4. Then UFC has a fight night scheduled for March 19th. They booked a strawweight bout. Corey McKenna taking on Elise Reed. You might remember Corey McKenna won on the Dana White Contender Series, got signed to the UFC, had a contentious decision win over Kay Hansen, and then she's been out due to injury, and now she's taking on Elise Reed. You might remember Elise Reed had an ill-fated UFC debut against Sajara Eubanks at Flyweight. And then Samurai Fight House 3 goes down February 12th in Argentina. Getting some action down there in the Argentinian fight scene. A strawweight bout between Patricia Alujas taking on Laura Ballin. You might remember Laura Ballin from one championship. She fought in both their atomweight and strawweight divisions. Had like 3 or 4 fights for one championship, I believe. But now she's back home in Argentina fighting on the local scene there. Thought that was an interesting item. Then UFC has a fight night scheduled for May 14th. They booked a flyweight bout. Lauren Murphy taking on Miesha Tate, making her flyweight debut. That should be a good scrap. Miesha Tate with her BFF Juliana Pena, the current bantamweight champ. She's not going to try to keep fighting in the bantamweight division because she doesn't want to, have to fight her friend for the title. So what Tate's doing is she said, well, I'm going to try my hand at flyweight. She is taking on the most recent title challenger in Lauren Murphy. That's a good fight. It's going to be scrappy. Lauren Murphy is going to be a tough out for Tate's first fight at flyweight, especially after cutting that weight. But I'll tell you what, I think that a win here immediately puts Tate in a title contention. 1 win away from the title shot at the most. Might not even have to wait to get another win after that. Then UFC 270 lost another bout. Poliana Batalio and Jeon Kim is off of that. Batalio, unfortunately, caught COVID or tested positive for COVID. So that fight is off. Instead, they rescheduled Jeon Kim for next month. She's going to be fighting on the February 26th fight night against Priscilla Cachoeira. Just really bad luck for both Batalio and Jeon Kim. I was really looking forward to that bout, but I'll tell you what, this Batalio Kim versus Cachoeira fight, that sounds like a banger too. So that should be a good one. And a nice fortunate news for Jeon Kim. She lost the bout, and she doesn't, she's been training in the U.S., but then she doesn't live here. So between fight camps, she goes back to Korea. Whereas now she doesn't have to go back to Korea right away. She can just stay in Vegas for a little bit longer and train for next month. So that all worked out good. Then UFC 273 goes down on April 9th. They booked a strawweight bout. Mckenzie Dern taking on Tasha Torres. That's a good one too. UFC matchmaking, what's his name, Mick Maynard, doing a good job lately. So that is a battle for between 2 top 10s, one of them top 5. If Torres wins, she'll be able to move into the top 5 finally. She's always been just outside the top 5, always between 6 and 10 since 2014, 2015. And whereas Dern has been kind of slowly skyrocketed her way up into contention. That's a good matchup too, stylistically, for each other. They each present some problems for the other. Then One Championship X goes down March 26th. Announced an Atomweight Championship headlining bout. Angela Lee finally returning, and she's going to be facing the One Atomweight Grand Prix champion in Stamp Fairtex. Just released a video about that earlier if you want to go check that out later on. But that's a good fight, and I'm really looking forward to that. Angela Lee finally returning, finally going to defend her title against the Atomweight Grand Prix champ Stamp Fairtex, who just did the WMMA scene Fighter of the Year for 2021. Started off the year on a bad note, taking a loss, but then avenged that loss and won the Grand Prix. Conference Chicanery, welcome to the chat. Says Dern too big and physical for Torres. She's faced big physical fighters before. I mean, she's one of the smaller straw weights. She's used to it. I don't think Dern's physicality should be too big of a problem for Torres. Moving along, two more items here. First up, UFC Fight Night, February 26th. They added a bantamweight bout. Josiane Nunes taking on Yanan Wu. Should be a good one there. You might remember Josiane Nunes took on the much taller than her Bea Malecki and knocked her out. One-punch knockout. Wu Yanan we haven't seen in quite a while, so she'll be returning at bantamweight. Looking forward to that one. And then final bit of news here. We've got a title fight on the 22nd. FEN 38 in Russia. A bantamweight title bout. Katerina Shakalova taking on Yulia Kutsenko. I believe Shakalova is either 6-0 or 6-1. Kutsenko is, I believe, 7-6. So more experience, but more of a journeyman record. But should be a good one. And Shakalova is one of the bantamweight fighters I listed that the UFC should look to sign sometime this year. So those are all of your news items for today. Conference Chicanery says, stamp victory train, get on board. Choo choo. That's all I have to say about that. So let's move on into some rankings updates. So first up, let's take a look at the UFC rankings. Specifically, we have a flyweight bout this weekend in the top 10 that deserves notice here. We got Katlyn Chookagian coming in at number 2 right now, and she is taking on Jennifer Maia, who's coming in at number 4. So we could see a change between the 4th ranked and the 2nd ranked here. So definitely want to keep an eye on those. Other than that, these updates are a little bit older, so like several weeks old, so they're not as important. Then over at One Championship, we have a title fight this weekend and another bout, both of them in the one strawweight 125-pound division. So Seonji Nan is your champ, and she is taking on the 4th ranked Ayaka Miura. And then Tiffany Teo at number 1 is going to be taking on Mun Bo, who is currently unranked and moving up in weight. So going to be keeping an eye on those two. So those are your rankings updates. So let's move on right ahead into the weekend preview. We're not going to waste any time here because there's a lot of fights going on this weekend. So first up, we have One Championship heavy hitters tomorrow morning, Friday. Now, this isn't an MMA bout. This is a Muay Thai bout, but I just wanted to highlight it here. We got Supergirl taking on Catriona Van Dareva. This should be a good one. Supergirl, she's still in high school, but is an absolute beast of a Muay Thai fighter. And Catriona Van Dareva, I believe both of her fights in one have been losses, but they were to Janet Todd and then Jackie Boonton, neither of which are, bad losses at all. And they were both, well, the Boonton fight was very competitive. She got knocked out by Janet Todd. But this should be a good one. And also, Van Dareva is Muay Thai waifu, so. But on the mixed martial arts side, we have Tiffany Teo taking on Mun Bo in the one strawweight class, which is 125 pounds. Let me bring up the stats here. We got Teo coming in at 9-2. Mun Bo coming in at 17-5. Now, both ladies coming in off of losses. So, Teo last fought a year ago, challenged the champ, Seonji Nan, for the title. Came up short in a unanimous decision. Mun Bo coming up short in the first round of the Atomweight Grand Prix, dropping a decision to Ritu Phogat. Now, let's see. Mun Bo is 25 years old. I believe she is the younger fighter. Topology doesn't have Teo's age listed, but I believe she is 32. Teo is 1 inch taller, 5'5", 165 centimeters to 5'4", 162 centimeters for Mun Bo. I'm going to go with Mun Bo to win this one. She's got the power. She has that early one-hitter quitter power. However, Tio is tough. She's tough. She's durable. And she hits harder than you would think. You know, she's known for her jiu-jitsu, but she rarely goes for the takedown herself. And she likes to stand and trade on the feet. It could work against her, against Mumbo. But Mumbo is going to look for basically the one-hitter quitter, whereas Tio is going to pour on the volume here. The volume is what works best for Tiffany Teo. So on the feet, should be pretty even. On the ground, I would give the edge to Tiffany Teo, but I'm going with Mumbo to win this one. And honestly, the division needs Mumbo to win because they need new contenders at this point. Let me move on to the main event, Strawweight Championship. Seong Jin-nan taking on Ayaka Miura. The Panda coming in at 16-2. The champ Zombie Girl Miura coming in at 11-3. Seong's riding 2 straight wins, both in title defenses over Tiffany Teo and then Michelle Nicolini. Miura is coming in off of a win over Hayani Bastos via submission 7 months ago. Let's see. Miura is the younger fighter, 31-34 for Seong. Seong, a little bit taller, 5'5", 165 centimeters to 5'2", 157 centimeters for Miura. So my pick here for this one is going to be the champ, Seong Jin-nan. She's going to have to weather the early storm here. I believe that Miura is going to attack, and she's going to attack hard early. She's going to do everything she can to get into the clinch. Clinch with Seong, take her down using her judo, and then go for her signature scarf hold Americana. She said that is the exact game plan in every fight. That's her signature move, and she plans on winning, the championship the same way. Seong has got to be very careful to not let Miura get a hold of her. She's going to want to use her boxing to stay on the outside. If she can't do that and she gets caught, she's going to have to just stay calm and, work her way out of the trouble spots early on in the fight and just use her volume punching to wear down Miura. The longer this fight goes, the more it is going to favor Seong because she's going to land her volume, and she has heavy punches too. And the longer the fight goes, the more it's going to favor Seong, the better chance she has of getting a finish. Same as Tiffany Teo did. Teo had to endure an early storm, some early trouble spots against Miura. She got taken down, but was able to get out. And I think Seong can do the same thing too. She's not as good of a grappler as Teo, but I think that she can use her reach and her striking better. Seong has those punches. They're looping, but they're super accurate, and they've got power to them. But we're going to go with the champ to retain here. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to overlook Miura here. She has a real chance if she gets inside. And honestly, if she wins, it'd be good for the division as well because it would just open it wide open. So that is it for one heavy hitters. That's tomorrow morning. Check onefc.com for listings, but mostly going to be on YouTube. If you're in the U.S., it should be on the Bleacher Report YouTube channel. Conference Chicanery says one's MMA is as good as any, and Supergirl is a super blue chip prospect, but she's fighting a full-ground female professional athlete. Very true. Mung should be carrying a lot of power with less of a weight cut. Theoretically, yeah, she should be able to deliver her power a lot more. But then again, she's also going to be having more weight added on too. Could slow her down a bit. It says, Miura is for real, but Panda's unique fighter. Such a tough puzzle to solve. Yeah, so far the only one in one championship that was able to do it was Angela Lee. And those two are 1-1 against each other. So that is it for one championship. So Saturday, we have a new all-women's MMA promotion debuting, Palace Athena Women's FC. It's going to be in Canada. You can order it on Fight TV, fight.tv, or you can download their app, fite.tv. It's going to be $24.99 pay-per-view. They significantly lowered the price from what I originally saw on our website, which is great. $24.99, and I think you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think you're getting like 7 or 8 professional MMA bouts for that price, which isn't bad. Now, a lot of these ladies are either making their pro debut or only have like a few fights between them. So I'm only going to focus on the co-main event and the main event for this one. But definitely, if you get a chance and you have a few extra dollars left over from the week, give this event a look. I'm going to. But in the co-main event, we have a strawweight bout, title bout for the vacant strawweight title. Andy Nguyen taking on Laura Funtora. So Nguyen coming in at 6-9. Funtora coming in undefeated at 6-0. For Nguyen, she needs a win here. She is 0-3 in her last 3. And Funtora is coming in undefeated. Funtora, much younger fighter here. 21-39 for Nguyen. I don't have any other stats listed for Laura Funtora, but Andy Nguyen stands 5'4", 163 centimeters tall, and has a reach of 64 inches, 163 centimeters. So Nguyen fought as an atomweight for the longest time. She's former King of the Cage champ. She's fought in Ryzen, fought a lot in kickboxing and Muay Thai lately, but she's getting back to MMA as a strawweight. So I look at Laura Funtora, and her record isn't particularly impressive. I mean, her most recent bout, she beat someone who was 6-7. Oh, she only won that one because of the DQ. Before that, her best win was over someone who was 3-0 at the time. Whereas Nguyen has seen better days. This is a tough one to pick. I don't know Laura Funtora. I just don't feel comfortable making a pick on this one because I don't know Laura Funtora. She's out of Brazil, and Nguyen has been on a downslope for, well, she never really had, like, she was always going back and forth, wins and losses, multiple fight losing streaks before. So I just don't know on this one. Just don't know on this one. This is a tough one. But this next one I think is going to be a lot easier of a pick. Main event, Bantamweight Championship, inaugural Bantamweight Championship. Sarah Kaufman taking on Claudia Leite. The local girl Kaufman, Canadian, coming in at 22-5. The Brazilian Leite coming in at 7-2. Kaufman's coming in off of a win over Jessie Mealy just a month ago, I think. Before that, it had been a while since she had fought in PFL, but she had fought at PFL as a lightweight, came all the way back down to bantamweight. Leite is riding a 4-fight winning streak, and most recently, a month and a half ago, won the inaugural Nakao Cyborg Fights Bantamweight Championship in Brazil. That's the promotion that is owned or represented by Chris Cyborg. Let's see. Leite is the younger fighter, 25-36 for Kaufman. So the experience advantage of Kaufman is offset by the youth of Leite. Let's see. Looks like Leite is slightly taller, 5'6", 167 centimeters to 5'5", 166 centimeters for Kaufman. Kaufman has the slight reach advantage, though, 67 inches, 170 centimeters to 66.1 inches, 168 centimeters for Leite. I'm going to go with Kaufman on this one. She has the experience, and she just has the overall skill set. I mean, she was inactive for a little while after her PFL stint, but I mean, you just look at who they've been fighting, and I watched a couple of Leite's fights. She's good, but she's not great. She's not like up to Kaufman's level, in my personal opinion. And the dearth of just the level of competition that they've each been facing has been very different. Leite's been on that Brazilian, like kind of can crushing tour. So I'm going to go with Sarah Kaufman to win this one. And hopefully she'll do enough to get the attention. If not Bellator in their featherweight division, then hopefully the UFC in their bantamweight division. I think the fact they never should have let her go, Kaufman, when they did, and the fact that they've been ignoring her has just been a criminal. So we'll go with Sarah Kaufman. Then UFC Fight Night, what is it? Kato versus Chikadze goes down Saturday night. Oh, before we get into that, a couple chats here from Conference Chicanery. Very active in the chat. Everyone else just kind of quiet and lurking. But Palace Athena reps for Western Canada and still pulled in quality prospects and names like Nguyen Funtora. Yeah, I was surprised when they pulled in Claudia Leite, Andy Nguyen, and Sarah Kaufman most of all. But yeah, Canary says they have good scouts. And he says, I give Funtora the edge, but Nguyen always a live wire. This 135 title establishes a true champ for the promotion. I give Leite a slight edge. Interesting. Anyway, back to UFC Fight Night. Kato versus Chikadze. We have a rematch here in the flyweight division. Katlyn Chookagian taking on Jennifer Maia for the second time. The first time they met, Chookagian came out ahead via unanimous decision. That was 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago. But the blonde fighter coming in at 16-4, Maia coming in at 19-7-1. Chookagian is riding a 2-fight run over Cynthia Calvillo and then Viviane Araújo, most recently 7 months ago. Jennifer Maia went the distance against Shevchenko a year ago, and then most recently defeated Jessica Ai via decision 5 months ago. We got the brother man in the chat. Let's see. They are the same age, 33 years. Looks like there's like 3 months between them. Let's see. Chookagian has the height, 5'9", 175 centimeters. Tamaya's 5'4", 163 centimeters. And Chookagian has the reach as well, 68 inches, 173 centimeters to 64 inches, 163 centimeters. I got to be honest. Like, I know it's my job to get people excited for fights, and that's why I do this. I have a hard time getting excited for this one. The first fight was so boring. It was snooze-inducing. It was. I'm going with Chookagian to win the rematch on this one again. Although I'm pulling for Jennifer Maia. Right now, Chookagian is just trying to beat everyone. Beat all the other contenders, basically. She's tried very hard to get back to contender status and get that another title shot against Shevchenko. She's just doing it the hard way, but just basically going, hey, I'm beating every other contender, so you can't deny me. For Maia, she's kind of got to be in that same boat as well. That height and reach advantage really favors Chookagian, and she used it very well in the first fight. For Maia, she's got to get past that reach and get on the inside, possibly even look to take this fight to the ground, which isn't easy. Chook's ground fighting is very underrated. But what she really does best is, fight at a distance and point fight and fight at range. But I got to go with Chookagian on this one. The brotherman says Chook will win and she should go to bantamweight. Ooh. Probably should go. Maybe she should go to bantamweight because bantamweight's wide open right now with Pena, winning. If she beats Nunes again, that division is up for grabs. Maybe she should consider going back to bantamweight. That's a good point. I think she has a better chance of winning gold at bantamweight than she does at flyweight right now. Because Shevchenko just straight up had her number. Then on Saturday, is it Sunday? Sunday. We have Lumpany Fairtex fight. New era. This absolutely is a new era for MMA in Southeast Asia, but especially in Thailand. We have the first MMA bouts in Lumpany Stadium. Now, I'm not a super huge Muay Thai fan. I do like watching it, but Lumpany is one of the big 3 or 4 stadiums that they put on Muay Thai shows in Thailand. They just recently started to allow women to fight there. Now they're going to allow MMA to go on there. And this is being put on by the Fairtex gym, and it is headlined by a ladies bout. Jada Ketley of South Africa taking on Aphrodite Fairtex of Thailand. Now, I don't know anything about either of these two ladies. It's at 50 kilograms. That's at about, 110 pounds. I don't really know anything about these two ladies. I think Fairtex is still in high school. I know she's young. But conference chicanery, Lumpany and MMA and Lumpany. Yeah, wow. Yeah, this is big. Times are changing in Thailand. It went from MMA being illegal in Thailand just a few short years ago, and now you got MMA in Lumpany, headlined by a ladies bout, when ladies were banned from fighting in Lumpany until just last year, just a few months ago. And the first ladies bout in Lumpany was held in a parking garage, so they didn't even want it in the stadium proper. But I think this is going to be in the stadium proper. So this is huge. So women's MMA, another first. And this is a big one culturally in Thailand. So I don't have any stats available for these ladies or this bout, but really looking forward to this one. I'm not sure how, let me see. I'm not sure how to watch this, but I will try to find it, and if I find it, I will make a community post and let you all know, because this is huge. This is huge. And then on Sunday, we've got Shudo action in Japan, the first Shudo event of the year, and we've got 4 ladies bouts, and one of them is the return of a women's mixed martial arts legend. The Brotherman says that's huge. Where's the link to the event? If I find, I'll look for it. When I find it, I will make a community post. So keep an eye out on the community post page of this channel. So let's talk some Shudo. So first up, we have a strawweight bout. Megumi Sugimoto taking on a fighter known as Salt. One name, one word name. Salt. I have no stats for Salt. I think this is just a showcase fight for Sugimoto. She is 6-3. She's coming off a win over Mikiko Hayama 7 months ago. She's 31 years old, stands 5'3", 160 centimeters. That's Megumi Sugimoto on the left. I don't have anything for the fighter known as Salt. But this is the one I am looking forward to here. This is an atomweight bout. It is part of the Infinity Tournament, the Shudo Infinity Tournament of 2022. This is kind of like a round-robin style tournament, from what I can understand, is the way they do it. And the winner of this tournament by some point later on in the year will be crowned the Shudo Atomweight champion. But Hisae Watanabe returning from a long absence, taking on she appears to be a debutante, Haruna Kato. Teenage debutante, from what I understand. Like I said, this is a showcase fight. Again, I'm on Tapology. I have no stats available for Haruna Kato, but I think she's 17 or 18 years old. Hisae is a living legend of Japanese MMA. Now, she hasn't fought since a draw in Vale Tudo, Japan, 5.5 years ago. But she has a record of 20 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw. She is 41 years old. She stands 5'3", 161 centimeters. if you're not familiar with Hisai Watanabe, I have a playlist. It's Blast from the Past / retro fight reviews. I have a video up about Hisai. She is the original knockout queen of women's mixed martial arts. I mean, I don't think there's any single female fighter that has more legit knockout wins than Hisai Watanabe. And she's only 105 pounds. She's an atomweight. Back in the day, in the early days, in Deep and Smack Girl and whatnot, she was knocking out chicks left and right. And then, took a few losses. Age caught up to her. She retired for a little while. Came back, fought a few times. Retired again. She retired like 2 times already. It's like her second or third retirement. And now she's back at 41 years of age. I know she was dealing with some alcohol problems from what I heard. But hopefully that's all in the past. And I'm hoping she can come back and bring the power with her at 41 years of age. Conference chicanery says they're setting Kato up to sink or swim off the bat for sure. Definitely. Definitely. It just depends on how Hisai looks coming back. I'm hoping she does really well, though. Nothing against, young Haruna Kato, but I want to see the legend, the KO queen, come back and get some KOs. Then we have another bout in the Atomweight Infinity League tournament. Miku Nakamura taking on Yuki Ono. Miku on the left-hand side there coming in at 4-6. Yuki Ono coming in at 1-1-1. Nakamura is riding the 2-fight skid coming into this here. Last fought a month and a half ago, dropping a majority decision. Whereas Yuki Ono is coming in off of a draw 7 months ago. Both ladies fought the same opponent in their last fight, Chihiro Sawada. Ono drew with her, and then Nakamura lost to her. Nakamura on the left-hand side there is 10 years younger, 29-39 for Yuki Ono. Ono is a little bit taller, 5'4", 162 centimeters to 5'2", 157 centimeters. This one's up for grabs. This could go either way. Yuki Ono is up there in age and doesn't have the experience. Nakamura has the experience, but she's amazingly inconsistent. Then final ladies bout on that card, and for this week we're going to discuss here is looks like a super atomweight bout, which I believe in Shudo is 110 pounds. Mina Kirobi taking on Momoka Hosuyama. Kirobi coming in at 16-6. Hosuyama coming in at 1-1. This is another showcase bout here. Kirobi coming in off of a loss a month and a half ago to Satomi Takano, where she lost her super atomweight title. Before that was riding a nice win streak. Hosuyama coming in off of a win over Chisato Wada just 2 weeks ago. So yeah, she just fought recently. Hosuyama on the right-hand side there, much younger, 27 to 44 years for Kirobi. And Hosuyama is a little bit taller, 5'4", 162 centimeters to 5'2", 158 centimeters for Kirobi. I'm going to go with Mina Kirobi here. She's got the experience. She has the skills. She's getting up there in age. Hasn't slowed down too much for 44, though. If she loses to Hosuyama, though, then it might be time to hang him up. But for now, I'm going to go with Mina Kirobi to win this one. So that is it for your weekend preview. So I want to talk a little bit tonight. I have a discussion topic here. There's this article published on ESPN.com, written by Mark Raimondi, who I didn't know was still with ESPN. I thought he had left. But it's nice that he got a article here. It seems like people are jumping on the atomweight bandwagon as of late. And I'm all for it. And, you know, the article is titled Bold Predictions for 2022. Conor McGregor title shot, a starting parts for boxing, and a new UFC division. And it says the next 12 months could be some of the most interesting in MMA history. Talk about various things here. It says, yes, 2022 could be the most newsworthy year ever in mixed martial arts. In the end, if the end of 2021 and the first few days of January are indication, things could go off the rails quickly. With that in mind, we took a crack at some bold predictions that could actually come to fruition before 2023. So let me find the pertinent section here. One of the bold predictions is that UFC will launch a women's atomweight division. That is a bold prediction. Dana White has been asked about it before and said that he has considered it in the past. And I know that Laura Senko, who works for the UFC and is retired atomweight fighter herself, has been talking about getting it going. So let's see what he has to say. It says MMA Junkies Mike Bone reported that there was more in-fight time in the UFC than ever before in 2021. The promotion has been a content machine even through a global pandemic, and there are more fights than ever before. With the amount of fights per card and the potential for the amount of cards increasing in 2022, there's an opportunity for the UFC to add another division. And the best one in the world that the UFC doesn't currently have, women's atomweight. It's a nice introduction there. It says there are a solid number of excellent atomweight fighters in the world, such as Invicta FC's Alicia Zapatella and Jessica Del Boni, as well as South Korea's Sahi Ham of One Championship and Kana Asakura of Rizin. Seika Izawa, the 24-year-old Uber prospect, just shocked longtime atomweight great Ayaka Hamasaki, the former Invicta champ, at Rizin on New Year's Eve. Women's 105 pounds is a fun division with some marketable athletes and exciting fights. Plus, having another champion on the UFC roster creates more premium content simply by adding about 3 more title fights per year to the docket. So it's an interesting prediction here. I've been pushing the atomweight division for the UFC pretty much since the inception of my channel. I started my channel in the winter of, I believe, 2017, 2018. 2018. Or no, the fall of it went like December 2017. And then I believe in 2018, I started, really pushing for the UFC to adopt an atomweight division. And, I've done that for several years now, and I still support the atomweight division. I will support it until I can't anymore, or they give me reason to not do so. I'm trying to just find something real quick here. I'm just not sure if I think that if atomweight in the UFC is a good idea at this point. And I've gone back and forth on this a bunch. But lately I've been thinking it's going to be hard for the UFC to bring in an atomweight division at this point. Because right now, so many of the best fighters are signed elsewhere. You've got fighters in Japan and a lot of them in Rizin. If they make money in Rizin, then why would they want to leave for the UFC? If you can make good money at home and not have to travel overseas, a lot of them are going to choose that, especially Japanese fighters. Japan's actually a fairly insular culture. They like to travel inside the UFC. stay in Japan and don't travel outside too much. Then you got like a lot of good atom weights and like one championship. Now, some of them were actually straw weights, but there's definitely some good atom weights in there. But like Sahi Ham, for example, that they mentioned in here, she signed to one. She's stuck with one for the near future. And honestly, she's nearing the end of her career. She's getting ready to retire. Then you got some good atom weights over in, like, say, South Korea at Road FC. They're stuck in Road. Now, you have some atom weights in Invicta, but not like a whole lot. So the UFC could use those to build with, but that's still a small number. So the big problem with atom weight is that it is just so spread out that it's going to be hard to sign a bunch of them, enough of them to really focus on build a solid division. Because you got to, especially if you really want to get the best fighters. And I don't want to see a UFC division being pushed as the best atomweight fighters in the world if they're not getting the actual best atomweights in the world. I just don't. If you can't get the best, then it's really not worth trying. Because we've seen that over the years, where the UFC just pushes, well, we've got the best fighters in the world. Well, no, you've got a bunch of fighters outside that are just as good, if not better. So would I like to see a UFC atomweight division? Yes, if done properly. But I just don't trust the UFC to do it properly. And they're probably going to try to do it through like Ultimate Fighter, which I think is just played out at this point. And you're not going to get the best fighters to come through the Ultimate Fighter house. You're just not. Or they're going to do it through the Contender Series, which I hate the Contender Series. It's a stupid show. And lately they've been signing just fighters who the level of fighters that they have been signing the last season compared to season 1 has dropped significantly, gone significantly downhill. But I do like that people are waking up to the atomweight division. And for someone at ESPN to write an article and say the UFC should look to open an atomweight division, it's a good sign for the division as a whole. And honestly, I think that Seika Izawa here beating Ayaka Hamasaki, the former Invicta champ, shocking the world, just really blew people's minds and opened up people's minds to the concept of it. So I think that's really great. And I'm glad that the atomweight excuse me, division has some new eyes on it. And that it's not like just a few obscure YouTubers and independent writers that are looking at it now. Because I saw a couple articles about Seika Izawa after the Ryzen show, like who is she, and writing about introductions to her. So that's just a short topic I wanted to talk about. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chats here. Zazakita, welcome back. Says, I'm going to guess Zapatella is going to rethink moving up in weight class. I think she should. Conference Chicanery says, one invested in atomweight when the UFC wouldn't. So this is a weight class they control. Only Ryzen can really challenge them for now, it would appear. Yeah, Invicta, one, Ryzen, Invicta, but Invicta, they can't afford to pay the fighters like Ryzen and one can. Jazakita says, she got big sistered by another atomweight. Imagine the UFC strawweights against her. Talk about Zapatella again. Yeah. I mean, she's small at atomweight. She's going to be small, even smaller at strawweight. Conference Chicanery says, at Zazakita, I think she has to move up. She was dominant early, but gassed early in the first round. Better try a different weight cut. It's a good idea. That's a thought. Zazakita says, but she looks so small compared to Del Boni, who ain't that big. Yeah, Del Boni is only 5'1". Zapatella was small compared to Kon Asakura, who is very tiny. Zapatella is just tiny person. And Conference Chicanery says Del Boni, long and lean, perhaps can move up later or not. Zepatella thick and seemed like she had to cut hard. Yeah, that's her problem. She's thick. She's a bit thicker down low. So that is the show for tonight. We've got a big weekend ahead of us. Really great show from Invicta last night. I don't know why that's so blurry, but we'll have to work on that. Anyway, any final thoughts from the chat? We've got a few people watching. If you haven't yet, please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe as well. But any final thoughts from anyone in the chat before we go? If not, if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like the show, please give it a like. We'll be back probably next Thursday. I'm going to try to get back into a regular pattern with this show. It's the only like guaranteed like regular program that I do. And try to see you all later. Conference Chicanery says, peace, y'all. Good stream. Thank you. And hopefully we'll see you next time. But anyway, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And thanks for watching WMAC Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.